Welcome to Get Loud with Black Cat Fireworks with your hosts Chris Nolan and Dave Gooch Guccione.
Welcome to another episode of Get Loud with Black Cat Fireworks. I'm Chris Nolan, the VP of Marketing at Black Cat Fireworks, along with Dave Guccione, better known as Gooch, who's
that's me,
Director of Sales for Winco Fireworks. Welcome, Gooch.
Hey, so here we go. This is number 2, I think, right?
Yeah. So I think last time we talked about the status of the industry and what 2021 season is going to look like.
Correct.
Potentially. And it's definitely gearing up for an interesting one. But before we start with our topic today, which is 60-gram canister shells, I kind of wanted Gooch to share a little bit about his background and how he got into the fireworks business, like the Reader's Digest version.
We don't need the hour and a half version.
Yeah, we got 15 minutes here. So
okay. Anyway, so born and raised in California. Not that that matters, but it does when it comes to fireworks, because when I was 5 years old, my parents brought me down to a local Red Devil fireworks stand. Some people will remember that brand. It's no longer around anymore. And I ended up with a flash ray gun in my hands, and I kind of caught the bug at 5 years old. So as a juvenile, I did juvenile things with fireworks. We won't get into any sort of details of those. Our neighbors did not like my brother and I. We did a lot with fireworks year-round. Anyway, in a state where some of the stuff we were shooting wasn't necessarily legal. Once again, we won't go into detail. But business-wise, in the 1980s, I'm going to show my age here, my business-to-business experience started with working for a wholesale record distributor. From there, I got into artist management for musicians. I mean, I was involved in a major artist that was on Atlantic Records and toured the world. And
is it safe to name that artist?
Yeah, Stacy Q.
Two of Hearts.
That's right. So,
yeah.
Well, it did.
Look it up.
Yeah. Anyway, so I worked with the management team who was managing Stacy Q and ended up having a record label out of it with John St. James, who was the producer of Stacy. And so we ended up having a record label with Enigma Records, and I was in the music business. So let's fast forward to 1990s. I had a little career change and decided to get into concert merchandising and licensed merchandising repping. So if that wasn't fun enough, I got hired away to be the music buyer for Hot Topic. So I've had a really diverse career, but the great thing about Hot Topic was it was an MBA class and getting paid for it. So it was really great experience on the retail side. And then I just started to get that, like, hey, I'm 35. I want to do something, that I could do for the rest of my career. And I found a way to get into the fireworks business and worked for a major fireworks retailer in California for over 11 years, and then decided to move to the Midwest and got hired by Winco Fireworks. And so that's kind of the story there.
Wow. That's the shortest I've heard you tell that story.
Oh, we could go for 2 hours if we want to. So I could just talk about Brown record distributors that I worked for. I could write a movie about that.
Yeah,
place.
There's a lot of crazy stories that we could probably have a whole separate podcast over that stuff.
Just a Brown Records podcast.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. That'd be awesome. Well, we're glad he's here. He's definitely a pyro and knows his stuff, and he's a part of a collectors group as well. And, they meet annually in Joplin, Missouri.
Joplin, Missouri. It's the Joplin Pyro Collectors Group, and we just geek out on fireworks. I've been geeking out on fireworks since I was a young boy.
What's the oldest item that you have?
I have actually probably one of the most interesting items is I have a promotional flag from probably 1890, maybe 1905, from an old fireworks company.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Crazy. Yeah. Crazy.
Crazy. So today we kind of wanted to talk about kind of 60-gram canister shells, how they evolved kind of, and what they are today. I mean, obviously there's, you get out in the stores and there's 4-inch, 5-inch, 6-inch, 7-inch. Who knows how big they'll go?
I haven't seen an 8-inch yet, but I guarantee you someone's going to try to do an 8-inch for sure.
Now, no matter what the size, what's the consistent factor?
It still has to be 60 grams of pyrotechnic composition, and that's going to include, we're going to geek out here a little bit, everybody. You have to have a lift charge to get the shell out of the tube, and then you have a break charge. And so all that combined cannot go over 60 grams. And it doesn't matter if it's a 4-inch, a 5-inch, a 6-inch, or a 7-inch. It all has to be the same.
What does that do? So, okay, So what's the difference between a 4-inch and a 7-inch?
Well, a 7-inch is going to probably have multiple breaks. That's most of the 7-inch shells are double break, maybe with a mine and a large mine and a single break, as opposed to like a traditional regular Diablo shell, which is a 4-inch shell. That's just going to go out of the gun and have a big break.
Right.
They're all going to have big breaks. This one's going to have like a much bigger. I shouldn't say it's going to be a fuller, bigger break than a possible 7-inch shell that might have a double break. But these are all big breaks either way.
No, it's as close as you can get to a display shell, right?
Absolutely.
So you mentioned mine. Can you explain for the layperson out there, some of the basic effects that?
So the effects you'll see on the black hat shells in particular are going to be, you're going to have a mine effect, and a mine could be, it's basically if you shoot stuff upward. So it's coming out of the tube and it's blasting upward like a fountain, but it's not a fountain. It's like a one-shot fountain that goes up. That's considered a mine. I'm going to try to simplify it here. And within that, you have a multitude of effects. You could have fish, you could have crackle, you could have stars. It could be a bunch of different stuff that's going to shoot out of the tube. But while that's shooting out of the tube, the shell will go up to altitude and then break.
Right.
So you have like a dual level kind of thing.
But no breaks in a mine. It's just something that goes up in the air to kind of fill that lower sky.
Yeah, it could be crackle, or maybe
crackle,
you're not
but no breaks.
No
breaks will go up in the shell with the shell, but
right,
kind of fills that lower sky.
And then you could also have a comet effect, and that's going to be like a comet, like a trailing star that shoots out of the gun that goes up along with the shell, and then the shell breaks. So
cool. I like that effect. That's cool. What's your favorite effect? Side note. What's Gucci's favorite effect?
My favorite effect, and my caller gives me a hard time for it, I like Rosettes.
Rosettes, yeah. We watched a few videos.
Him and I had a great conversation about that. When I think we were doing a little bit of product development the other day. He's like, yeah, you and somebody else are cross-set guys.
Yeah, so we sit down and go over some new product stuff, and we give Gooch the task of going through 100 items to narrow it down for us to look at so we can kind of get, because Gooch has got an eye for good fireworks. So we let him narrow it down. I think we took 100 videos and narrowed it down to 98.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because we liked every single one of them.
Yeah.
So we had to break up our viewings for over 2 or 3 days. But
anyway,
that's
exactly.
good though.
People were falling asleep during the meeting too. But besides that, it was all good.
And every one of them had crossheads. So,
yeah.
So back in 2014, Black Hat came out the first 60-gram canister shell for them.
For Black Hat, right.
They were already there. But,
absolutely.
And it was called Diablo.
Correct.
And Diablo 24 was 24 shells in the kit. And that's been a top seller every year since then.
I think it's been really successful. As one of those, there are so many shells on the market now. I don't think, with the power of Black Hat behind it, obviously it really helps. But to get the kind of recognition we got back then for this shell, and it was a great shell. That hey, if it's not a good firework, it doesn't matter how much marketing you have behind it. I can tell you that right now, it can fail. And the consumer just really gravitated towards Diablo. Immediately.
Yeah, it performed well, and it's continued to perform well. But we rolled out a lot of things that came along with that on the marketing side that really got a big kick right off the bat. There's a lot of good shells on the market for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
But since then, we've expanded that. The Diablo 24 is a 4-inch shell.
Correct.
The regular 60-gram canister.
Correct.
And then we came out with the Diablo 12.
Right, just half the version of the 24. We wanted to make sure, you have to understand, we're trying to help people move from a festival ball and understand that there's value in spending more money to get these larger shell kits. And so we're trying to kind of bridge the gap there and do 12.
Yeah, I've always heard that it's either you like artillery shells, canister shells, or you don't. It's like either it's just hard to get into it one at a time if you're one of those people that wants to light something and sit back and watch the whole thing go.
Right. A lot of people,
unless you're lighting them all together.
I mean, there's a lot of options where you could light one fuse and get 100 shots.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Goes for 40 seconds, 50 seconds.
Right.
As opposed to you light one shell and you get one big shot.
Right.
Just depends.
You get duration, which is nice.
Yes.
So after Diablo 12, we then kind of went along with that same kind of thing. We came up with a 6-shot Neon Diablo.
Correct.
That was a 5-inch shell.
5-inch shell, and but the Neon Diablo 6 5-inch. All those are single shot shells, but they're great. I mean, talk about immediate success. That kit had immediate success.
Yeah. We sold out a lot of that really quickly. And after that, then this past year, we came out with the Patriot, which is a 6-inch, and then we had our Black Hat 5-inch canisters.
Right.
Which have also performed really well, done really well.
And so the 5-inch, you have a lot of mine to break. So as described before, it shoots out of the gun. Once again, a multitude of different effects and colors coming out as the mine, and then to a break with a bunch of different effects on the brakes. There's a couple whistle to break effects in the Black Cat 5-inch, which you don't see that a lot in a lot of the 60-gram canister shell kits. And then the Patriots were all primarily double break. There are a couple single break, but primarily they're all double break with mine or a basically right
The V shells.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. So go up
like a comet type thing.
Yeah,
so
that's cool. And then this year we're rolling out a 24 shell kit of the Neon Diablo. It's such a successful rollout of that 6-shot that we decided to bump that up to 24.
Exactly. And so the 24 Neon Diablo kit's going to have some more mines and some comets coming out of those, but it's all going to be neon colors.
Yeah, it's really cool.
In fact,
colors.
I was watching one of the videos the other day, and there was actually a neon break with fish. I mean, way cool.
Yeah, that's really cool. What so that's kind of our line of 60-gram canister shells. We're always looking to develop other things and as we grow. But what are some of the safety measures that you would say you want to, partake in when using 60-gram canister
60-gram canister shells, you want to be safe with them. You want to make sure that you're shooting from a flat surface, number one.
Yeah.
You want to make sure that you rotate your tubes. Number two is the reason why a 24 shell kit comes with 4 different tubes, because the tubes will get hot enough and they will expand a little bit and they won't fail. I mean, you could probably shoot, more than 6 per tube, but for true safety, you want to make sure you're going to rotate your tubes. You're going to want to make sure that your tubes are fully secured, meaning that they are, I like to put a block down and put a brick or a baselite block on one of the flat parts of the tube just to really secure it. Then it's not going to go anywhere. So make sure that you have that. Make sure you always have a clear shooting area. Don't shoot around homes. Make sure you're at least 75 feet away from a structure. It's also make sure you're not around trees. Just common sense. And the last thing you ever want to do with any sort of reloadable fireworks, just not a 60-gram canister shell, is if that does not fire, leave it alone and stay away. Do not lean over the tube. I would give it, I would say at least for a half hour, 45 minutes, stay away from it. Grab another tube, grab some other shells, and stay away from that tube. You have to consider that thing to go at any second, even though it hasn't fired for maybe 5 minutes. It's very rare that this happens, but you have to take that kind of safety precaution on any reloadable.
Exactly.
On any not just canister shells, any reloadable.
Yep.
Do not lean over the tube ever.
Ever. One other thing that I've seen people do is they'll screw down those bases to a piece of plywood or something like that too.
Oh, absolutely.
So they can't go anywhere.
There's opportunities out there. There's some retailers sell HDPE racks, and those are always really good. Once again, make sure that you're shooting from a flat surface and you have a secure surface.
Exactly. I think it's pretty informative.
Yeah,
we've covered quite a bit. It seemed like it went really fast.
It went really fast. It did. Well, because I was talking about myself for about 9 minutes. So.
Well, actually, that was like 3. It felt like 9.
It felt,
but that's because I've heard every single one of those stories numerous times.
More than once, right?
Stay tuned. Maybe we'll throw a nugget in a Gooch story every podcast, every episode.
We did have a great Diablo premiere party in Las Vegas, though, if I remember right.
Yeah, there's a video somewhere, right?
There's video. I will try to find the video and maybe post it. So
that'd be cool. speaking of posting, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Black Cat Fireworks USA and Facebook at Black Cat USA Fan. And if you're so inclined, we keep all our new product video on our YouTube channel. So you can subscribe to that at Black Cat Fireworks USA as well. But I think that wraps up.
We got the second one down. Here we go.
2 down. Many more to go. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in, and get loud.
Get loud with Black Cat. We'll talk to you next time. Well, that wraps up another Get Loud with Black Cat Fireworks podcast. On behalf of your hosts, Chris Nolan and Dave Gooch Guccione, go out and light some fireworks.